Top 7 Ways to Prevent Suicide. What are ways that can decrease the chances of feeling suicidal? When you manage the triggers to suicide, you might not avoid the thoughts altogether. Instead, you'll be decreasing the future chances of wanting to go through with the thoughts of suicide. Managing and preventing suicide is possible with the proper mental health education and strategy. Here are the top 7 ways to prevent suicide. 7. Personal goals. The thought of your goals will kick you up when you start having doubts about life. If you succeed in keeping track of all the traveling you wanted to do, moving to another city, advancing in your career, learning an instrument, getting a pet, and starting a family, the personal goals you have set for yourself will help you reject any thought of suicide. The goals that you set for yourself are a purpose of keeping you alive. 6. Find your happy place. When you go to low places and keep feeling dark, it is an excellent chance to start doing things you enjoy. Fun activities take you back to a place where you like to be and keep you wanting to stay alive for long. When you find pleasure in the right places, you will make more of your life. Those happy places will also chase out all the thoughts of your depression and suicide. If you are in a place where the things you used to like are no longer enjoyable, still do them. It is a way to give yourself a break from suicidal thoughts. 5. Structure and routine. To prevent suicidal thoughts, you have to keep a routine. Sometimes routines get boring and become a reason for depression, but that depends on your creative ways to keep your life structured. Going through a suicidal phase should not wipe out the activities you have always participated in. You still have to go to school or work as you usually would. It would be best if you also made plans of what activities your day will include. If you have to take walks or go to the farmer's market, set up specific times for each task. Your bedtime and rising time should also reflect a structure. A structured life will make your days go smoothly and help cancel out time to be worried about unfulfillment, since you are already making progress in your life cycle. 4. Take prescribed medication. One of the struggles of taking medication is that you never get used to the routine. A prescription from the doctor could be a new lifestyle adjustment that is somewhat difficult. That should not deter you from taking your meds regularly. The doctor's instructions are for your benefit, and it will hurt not to take them seriously. If you have problems like medication not working or side effects deteriorating your health, quickly talk to your doctor about it. Your antidepressants are making you energetic and physically better does not mean to stop taking them. The emotional and mood improvement might take more time to catch up with the rest. That is why you should always keep taking your meds until the doctor says otherwise. 3. Self-care. If you are often dealing with suicidal thoughts, you have to take better care of yourself. It feels nice to lie around and spend all your time in a clumsy room while you eat from packs and leave the litter on your bed. But what if, to get your mental health in check, you need to have better physical health? Self-care makes it better to see the best things about your life. You don't have to pay exorbitant prices to go to a spa to have a wellness routine. Eat healthily, get regular exercise, get enough sleep, have an entertaining activity, and decrease or stop alcohol and drug use. When you eliminate the careless lifestyle and improve your quality of life, you will be in the best position to prevent suicidal thoughts. 2. Identify high triggers. The feelings of despair in situations that increase your depression should be identified. The causes may differ from person to person. It might get to you if you struggle with the job hunt and all your friends are working. This is a trigger and not jealousy. Seeing your friends doing well can scale up your despair for falling behind. In such cases, you can decide not to agree to the usual monthly meetups. That way you can be thinking about the things that make your life richer rather than dwelling on the negatives. Avoiding all your triggers will help with suicide prevention and solve most of your real-life social problems. 1. Treatment for mental health. The most beneficial response to suicide prevention is getting treatment. If you have ever encountered suicide, you must get the appropriate help for your condition. Get treatment for depression, alcohol, drug abuse, and anxiety. The sudden sadness and feeling of loneliness are not something to disregard. When the symptoms are evident and you have successfully escaped a suicide episode, it is time to seek help. Do so with the right health provider. Instead of going to the family doctor for your suicidal thoughts, Go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist. If you don't know where to find them or cannot ask, search the internet for the nearest suicide prevention hotline, which will connect you to one of their trusted mental health practitioners. How do you get them under control when you are depressed and suicidal thoughts are at the highest? Here are some ways to deal with your immediate suicidal thoughts. Problem solving. The reason for depression is often tied to a problem. Although the primary cause is psychological, suicide is triggered by our problems. In the face of problems, you might not be thinking straight. That causes a hell of a suicidal flood in your life. The first step to managing the situation is to list out all your problems. And then, you can list all your possible solutions. If you are likely to get one or two of the solutions immediately helpful, it clears your mind. Sometimes the more significant problems exist because the small ones have not been fixed. Identifying and solving your problems will instantly give you the boots to shut out your suicidal thoughts. Reasons to live. Suicide is a dicey situation. On the one hand, a person wants to escape their problems and feel no pain again. On the other, they don't want to die. Death is the last resort in the suicide chain. Death comes in when you think your problems outweigh your wins, when you focus on the things in your life that upsets you. You can also think about those that you want to live for. Your relationship with your loved ones, pets, goals, dreams, ambition are all points you may want to live for. The points could be written down and read to yourself when the suicidal thoughts come along. The problems that you are facing cannot be more severe than your love for your loved ones. Things to help from the past. For first-time suicidal people, this point might not apply to you. However, if you have been in the same place before, you can fall back on what helped you the last time. In many cases, you might have gotten out of severe depression by reaching out to someone or refusing to use drugs. Whatever your help in the past, you should apply it to the current situation and see if it helps. You can make the options open so that more than one action can apply to your process. Since most people experience suicidal thoughts more than once, this strategy is excellent. The downside is fatigue. You might be too tired to reach out to another person, but knowing that your life depends on it, you should try it. Talk it out. To feel relieved, you will have to share your burden with someone. The trusted person you speak to might not necessarily be someone who can help in a professional capacity. Still, their listening to you is enough to get you in a better place. You should find someone who knows something about mental health and isn't judgmental. That way, you can feel safe to discuss whatever you feel. The best part is that after speaking, you will automatically feel better. It is essential to share the plan that you have with the person. A suicide plan sounds fine until you start saying it aloud and realize how ridiculous it is. So share your suicide plan out loud and watch yourself cringe out of those thoughts. Do the opposite of what you feel. When you're suicidal, you feel like doing certain things. You want to be alone, and you want to repeatedly brood over your problems and how you are better off gone. So when you start getting suicidal thoughts, do the opposite of those things. If you feel like being away from everyone due to something that happened, why don't you go to an open place where nobody knows you, but you'll be engaged in something worthwhile? For example, you can go out to a video arcade or city center to see talented people display their skills. It will remind you of the beauty of the world beyond your problems. If you are forced to repeat your problems, then you can try to get solutions instead. Then you can repeat those solutions to yourself for an effective mood switch. These are all capable of helping you through your feelings of depression. There is the part where you feel like your thoughts are impossible to escape. And when you finally escape those thoughts, you wonder if they won't come back in the future. These 7 ways will help keep your suicidal thoughts in check. How often do you feel like you cannot overcome a challenge? Are there things that contribute to these feelings? Please share your experience with us in the comments below.